Hi, good morning. This is Jackie, my Apex Training. Today is March 24th, 2020, and I appreciate you joining us here at Apex Training for a weekly vlog. And yes, I am not in my normal Apex Training garb attire. I'm actually in an old weightlifting shirt from 2016, and so that is my passion and my love is weightlifting. I just love weightlifting, and I've did it for over 20 years competitively from 1989 till 2000. So I am really grateful for those lifelong memorable experiences and through the amazing coaches that I've had from Dr. William Kutzer, Bob Tucano, Leo Totten, Mary Dettinger. Those are the people, and also too my track and field coach Joe Neff, who actually invited me onto his track and field team with me making a phone call and being a walk-on athlete, and that's how I was exposed to weightlifting. And so at this point in time with the COVID-19 on the uptick here in the United States, it gives us, and where believe most of the states, at least half nearly, are in a shelter-in-place mandate. And so as we are home confined, this gives us an opportunity to work on things that have been on the back burner. It could be like, getting that book started that you've been wanting to write, picking up an instrument. My daughter for months now has been playing the clarinet, and my spouse has rented one some time ago. So she's learning to hone her clarinet skills. She has actually went on a video and self-taught her to play the part of the Havana lyrics. And also my son, we got him simply piano so that he can start playing simple songs on the piano, and I may as well join him. I have time now, being that Apex Training is temporarily shut down, the mother site, and so I will be operating remotely using Google Duel that was introduced to me by one of my athletes. I'm setting up my lifters with home kits, which makes sense. I mean, at this point in time, really, if you own a gym, you might as well create these home kits for your athletes so they can take it to their residence and continue to stay fit. Even though it may not be an optimal arrangement, at least they'll be able to sustain somewhat what they've gained, and it gives them a sense of being productive and active, because you don't want to really start near ground zero if they've been home confined for 2 months and we don't have access to equipment at this point. So that's what I did this morning, even though with all the stress of this coronavirus and changes in the hospital setting in our society, that even on a sidebar note too, I've been reading up on there's an escalation of racist behavior towards Asian Americans, and bear in mind that it was initially animal to human, and then it's human to human transmission. Whether it could have been from China or India or even even here in the U.S., that's where it originated from. So at this point in time, pointing fingers and escalating that fear and that anger and that whatever towards another person or another ethnic group is not going to help our situation. It's not going to help us to find a vaccine. It's not going to help us to improve our cohesiveness. Okay, so we have one planet. We have all these people, all these animals, and everything. We are sharing this one planet. So it's akin to like if you live in a court and you're not kind of checking on your neighbor or offering help, that affects your court. So it's kind of like akin to like you're taking care of your garden, your yard, but if you're not offering to kind of see what's involved with your neighbor, their plumbing situation, their flooding situation may kind of drift into your property. Okay, so if it's not for the philanthropical viewpoint of helping thy neighbor, you're helping to preserve what you've gained through being able to help out others as well. That's what makes us cohesive as a community, as a neighborhood, as a civilized group of organisms. Okay, so I mean, even out in the wild, there's a hierarchy with the lion's pride, and even like monkeys. Shoot, even ants have an organized They work in organized fashion, especially there's so many of them. They each have a job, they work together, because if a certain sector of them get really sick, it affects the whole colony. Okay, so now is the time to stay together, be calm, look into those things that gives you a lot of joy and passion, reach out to those, that are home confined, offer to drop off something at the porch if they need it. Make sure you sanitize it first, and make sure you're within that social distancing aspect, so you don't end up being a vector for them. So it is very trying times right now, but we're going to make it through this. Find the time to actually get started, like I said, on those things that you've been putting off. There's no better time than now. I know what it's like to be home confined. For those that most of you don't know, that I was actually struck with a severe hip injury about, it was in December of 2016. And so, to make a long story short, had no idea I had hip dysplasia. Basically blew out my hip. Couldn't arthroscopically repair it. So ultimately, I needed a total hip replacement, which is kind of big news to be a little bit vulnerable, because being at 52 years of age and being able to confess this to the world, and also being home confined for a month, that was hard. Not being able to drive around, being pretty much, I don't want to say helpless, but dependent on my spouse. Couldn't really take care of my kids very well. It was very aggravating. It was very frustrating. But I did something that I've been putting off for a while. I read the entire Bible. What else did I do? I changed my dietary habits. So this might be an opportunity for us to kind of just allow ourselves to metamorphosize into something that we've been wanting to do. Okay, well, I'll see you guys later. Thank you for joining me here on our weekly vlogging episode with Apex Training. I'll see you guys next week. So stay steady, stay strong, stay safe. Thank you.